Okay, hi Sammy.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, can't complain.
Have you complained about my reviews? I know y'all be dragging me.
I don't drag nobody, I just kind of like tune in, take what's said, make note if need be, but it's all shits and giggles for me.
Okay. We don't hate nobody over here. I don't think I've said anything about you.
I don't think so either.
Not anything
So
bad, but I think what I did say was basically about your chasing, because that's all you show. And then for the most part, you're just there for most things. So
yeah,
hmm
that's a fair assessment for most parts, most cases.
hmm So why don't you tell me who you are? Who's Sammy? Where are you from?
All right. So again, I'm Sammy Austin. I am originally from Tampa, Florida, but I was raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, been doing music since 2017. But I was taking my career like super seriously, like within like the last 5 years. Just trying to figure out like my direction, where I want to go, and just developing myself as an artist for real, and a not even just an artist, but a performer and just like an all around entertainer. But yeah, a lot of what you see is on the show, in a relationship, family guy, dog dad, kind of involved in just about everything.
Okay. So you rap,
Yes.
right? And you got some hits. One of my favorites that I've listened to a couple times was "Yeah, I Know."
Yeah, that's my baby right now. I got a second born brewing, and I actually cannot wait for that to come out. But yeah, I know it's definitely one of like my favorites of all the songs I've done so far. So I'm glad that that is also a song that you like.
And you also got other songs like I think like the Freestyle Flex and then the Whip Appeal.
Yeah, Whip Appeal,
Yeah.
Light Flex, Cash App 2.0, and just like some freestyles here and there. Look, if anybody has like really dug in and got in tune, like they heard my SoundCloud stuff. But yeah, as far as everything that's like on like all streaming, like those are it.
Okay. So what made you want to go into music?
So I was always into music. Started off as a dancer first. Like dancing was like my initial passion. But I also used to like to write like as a hobby. And in school, you used to have those like writing assignments, and poetry was like where I thrive. Like, and my teacher actually noticed that, so she used to put me in like look writing competitions and stuff. And then I just started like writing some music. I don't know what hit me at that point, at that age of being in like middle school, but I was like, I just want to start writing some music just to see like what that feels like. And it actually ended up being like pretty good for me to be in like middle school. So I used to just take songs that I like, rewrite them like as if like I was like actually making the song. And from there, me and my friends, we started a little rap group. That didn't really do too much of nothing because everybody was like, "Y'all go sit down. Y'all ain't y'all ain't doing nothing for real." And
Oh,
then
boo.
from then up until now, honestly, I would just like randomly start doing freestyle videos and just like writing little shit and putting stuff out, and like people would actually like it. And then my best friend, around the time we first met, he put me on his album or on his single. And like going through that whole process of like being in a real studio, like doing a video treatment, shooting a visual, like and performing, I was like, okay, I think I like this. Like I feel like I could do this on my own. So that's really what pushed me to like start taking music seriously.
Okay. So when you were in school, did you join like any talent shows or anything?
Yeah, but it was as a dancer. Like I didn't really nurture the rapper in me until like later in life.
Okay. So how did you get involved with Chasing Atlanta?
You know what? I saw that they were looking, for some new chasers. And I felt like with what I was doing around the city, like all the performances, the showcases and everything. I was like, why not actually show what I'm chasing? Like, I'm doing this every day, like for real, and there are no cameras there. So why not put myself in a position to actually show people what I'm chasing and what I'm doing to get that visibility? So after I saw their post, I, went out for it. And come to find out after talking to somebody in production, they actually were like looking at me as well. So I think it was like a mutually beneficial thing. But yeah, like I went to the audition, sat directly with Indario and the rest of the producers, and it was a go from there, really.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Did you perform at the Boss Babe Awards last year, or was that
The what?
Q? Did you perform at the Boss Babe Awards last year, or was that Q?
No, that wasn't me.
It was one of y'all. Because I
No,
was
I
sitting
didn't.
there watching, and it was like, oh yeah, he's on Chase and Woo. I'm like, what? But
I
was you
think
there?
I don't know. I don't think he performed last year, but I think Kendall got an award last year, if I'm not
Kendall,
mistaken.
yeah, it was either him or Q, or it was one of you three. Because I was like, oh, I didn't know he was on Chase. Because I was sitting at the table with Dario, and I think one of the other people at the time had told me, oh yeah, he's on. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did
I
not
think
know
it was
that.
probably Kendall.
Was you there?
Nope, I didn't even go.
Where you go, friend?
I did not go. I did not attend. April. I think they usually have that in April. April is a pretty busy month for me, and I think around that time, honestly, I was preparing to release my single at that time, and I was trying to get my single release party together, and then family things happening around that time. So honestly, Boss Baby Awards was like the last thing on my mind at that time. Now, this year, if they want to have me or if the schedule sees fit, I'll pop up.
Okay. What trials and tribulations have you overcame since, like, throughout your life or in the industry, whichever one you want to share, whatever you feel comfortable?
Hmm. Industry wise, I can say the biggest trial and tribulation that seems never ending is unprofessionalism. Like, I don't know why independent artists are not necessarily seen as less than, but we don't get the same respect as other talent as we should. Granted, yes, we're independent.
Hmm.
We are not on a major platform, major label, any of that. But some of these curators and event promoters, like, y'all be needing us. So when we are in your space and we show up to give you guys a show, like, we should be treated with a certain level of respect. And sometimes it's just not that. From communication down to just stage spaces being like a box, and I'm like, I can barely do a 360 on this stage, and y'all want a full production, like just things like that. Um, like I said, communication sometimes is piss poor. Um, yeah, it just can get bad. I think people should treat the indie artists with more respect. Um, as far as like in life in general, um, there's really a lot, honestly. Like heartbreak, failed friendships, disconnected family members, being like my immediate family. At one
Okay.
point in time, like me and my immediate family were not even talking at all. Around the time like where I first came out to them, like that was a really, really big thing. But my extended family, being like my cousins and my aunts, they really stepped in and made sure I just stayed on track. Because things like that can be traumatic, especially when you're like really close with your family. And I was like this with my family. Like, I'm a really big family person. So yeah, that was like a really, really tough thing to get through. But
Okay.
we all good now. Like, them my people. We back to where we need to be.
So let me ask you something. Do you feel like, as of now, because me being an artist myself,
Hmm.
do you feel like it is important to be on a major label now versus 10, 20 years ago?
Mm.
Or do you feel different?
I feel so much I feel like way different about the industry now than I did before. Even just a few years ago, like staying tapped into like certain artists and like award shows and just like watching stats and things like that. I noticed a lot of independent artists are actually winning. Like some of them are winning more than like the people who have like legitimately been signed. So like I look at people like, well, Dochi, she's kind of signed now, but before, like when she really started getting her traction, she was not signed. Like Meg, she wasn't really signed before she really started getting her traction. Like she was like on a maybe like a smaller scale, but like nobody was signed to a major label for real. And they were like really doing the work. So that's something that I enjoy seeing. And that kind of gives me like inspiration and a push to like just keep going and like grind harder and grind smarter at that. But no, I don't think at this point a major label like full deal is needed. Crazy enough, I was just like talking to somebody about that. I'm thinking like max, marketing deal, production deal, distribution deal, good management, things like that. But like a full fledged deal, I don't even think it's necessary at this point.
Okay. Who's your favorite artist?
Ooh, that's always a hard question for me. I have to go by like generation. Um, I think my favorite artist with like the full package of being like a star would be like Michael Jackson. He's somebody that I really enjoy. Michael Jackson and Prince are like two people that I really enjoy. Like they didn't really take themselves too seriously, and I think nowadays a lot of artists and people in general do. So I think they just used to live like as if they were not celebrities for real, but they also cared about their craft and the art that they put out. And I feel like that's how I am.
Okay. What about Megan Thee Stallion?
I like Meg. Meg is like she is one girl that I love to like watch her like get in her bag. To me, out of all the rap girls, she is like one of the best freestylers. And that's something that's one like area of rap that I hate. But like I love watching her freestyle. Like that is her thing. And I don't think anybody else is like in that lane. Like I love watching her just go. And I love that for her. Like she's winning. I think she is a great face for brands. Like she ain't never lacking in that department. She stayed with a brand deal, and I love that. And the visuals are always stunning. I love that too. Like she has a really good team, but I think she has a good hand in her work as well. But I love her. I have big respect for her. I actually knew she was gonna make it. I used to follow her way back when she was just rapping on Instagram, and I came across one of her freestyles, and I was like, "Oh, I like this girl." And 2 years later, she's like the making the stallion that everybody knows.
Okay. Because you kind of give me more so of Megan Thee Stallion, something like that. Like Megan Thee Stallion, a little bit. I kind of see a little bit of her in you,
Yeah,
especially when you
I,
perform, because
I would love that so much.
you have an outstanding performance and stage presence. I don't. I've said
Thank
this
you.
even in my reviews a lot. I said out of all the people on Chasing that I have seen, you have the most outstanding like effort. Like you really take everything that you do with your craft seriously. I mean,
Thank
not to diminish the others because they do a good
you.
job,
Yeah.
but so far, and I think I've said like out of Atlanta, at least the Atlanta series from season one, I think you're like top number one when it comes to like your stage preference.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is definitely something that I have worked very hard on because believe it or not, outside of being on stage, I am such a introvert. Like you would never guess that
Oh, we know.
I am quiet and shy and just really just chill. And then I get on stage and I sometimes just act a fool.
Okay. All right. So we got to get into the nitty gritty.
All right.
Yup. Fun's over.
Look,
so
right.
So we got to get into Chasing Atlanta. So the first episode, the new normal, we're introduced to you, and you are performing, and Dominique and Althea show up to your performance.
Hmm.
What was that like for the first time performing in front of not only the crowd? Well, that's not your first time performing in front of the crowd, but what was it like performing for a TV show that's going to be viewed with thousands and thousands of people, basically more audience?
That was nerve wracking. It was so nerve wracking. I think that played a big part because they were not. I don't think it was you. I think it was somebody else, but that played a big part as to why I was like really in my head and my little dance break too. In my opinion, as well, just was like all over the place and wasn't like my best because I'm like, not only am I up here by myself, which is not usually my thing. I usually have dancers all the time, but it's like I'm up here by myself. Just dropped a new song, and I'm hoping everybody like really vibe to it, performing it for the first time, and I'm performing this and it's being filmed. And I also have cast members in the crowd, people that I don't know. So it was a lot. It was a little bit overwhelming, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Neek gave a lot of love. Alfia gave a lot of love. Noel was there too. He gave a lot of love, so I appreciated their support for sure, especially because they didn't know me, and it didn't seem fake. It seemed like very genuine because even like to this day, we still talk about it. So
Okay. So, what was it like with the group dynamic? Like meeting them for the first time, or at least meeting them in that group aspect when it comes to the entire cast, from Dominique all the way down to Althea.
it was definitely a little weird at first. I think everybody has one different communication styles, different personalities, so I think we all initially were kind of like walking on eggshells because it's like we're trying to figure out like the what's what and the who's who's and like how do we maneuver in this dynamic. And you have people like Noel, Hell, and Q, and they're a little bit more outspoken. So and everybody else is really like just chilling, trying to figure things out. So I think their like little back and forth broke the ice in the group a little bit. And once everybody like really started showing up as themselves and like kind of stepped out of being so shy and reserved, I think initially everything started off very well. Believe it or not, like everybody was supporting everybody. Everything was like slightly peaceful. Like there was a little banter, but also it was just like, we're getting to know each other, so we'll kind of like shrug it off or whatever. But yeah, initially it was kind of peaceful, a little chill, and then things just kind of got woken up.
hmm So, going into the season, there's other artists on this show. It's a lot. So,
Hmm.
Noel raps, Kendall raps, Tremel sings, Carl raps.
Hmm.
So, what is your opinions on their style of music, and would you ever collaborate with any of these individuals that I've named?
I can respect that everybody's style is different. That's what I think makes this particular cast work because there are a lot of artists. Like when you think about it, it's like, damn, like it's just about all artists. And technically, everybody's doing the same thing, but nobody's doing it the same way. Like Carl got his way of rapping, Noel got his way of rapping, Ken has his way of rapping, I have mine. Althea, Tremel, two completely different types of singers. So it's like while you're getting a group of rappers and a couple of singers, like everybody's doing it differently. So it's definitely something that I can respect. A couple of them, yes, I definitely would like to collaborate with. Some
Okay.
sooner than later, but I think that can be a thing.
Okay. So, you went to a couple of Tremel's listening parties. What is your opinion on his music and how he sings?
I think his music is good. I would say like I would love for Tremel to make like a cute. little turn up, a cute little love song. Like I like his music. Even though everybody was talking about my face, I think I just have like a resting bitch face. I really was just there, and I was trying to like really get into like what he's saying because I'm the type of like musician to where like when I'm listening to other people's stuff, I hear the beat. The beat is nice, but I want to hear what you're saying. Like I want to feel what you're saying, and I know that he was telling a story with this particular album that he was dropping. So I was trying to get into the story and the things that were happening. But I want to hear him like sing some happy stuff. Like, you know, a lot of the stuff is kind of like sad. So like I want to hear happy.
So you feel like some of his words don't like connect with the beat well, or do you feel like some of his songs are just too sad, like a Mary J. Blige?
Yeah, it I would definitely say Mary J. Blige. Very
So
Mary
it's
Mary J. Blige.
so it's giving too much of my life.
Yeah, I wanted to give like, you know, I'm just fine. Just fine, Mary J. Yeah. But it's definitely you know, all I really want is to be happy, which is fine, you know, tell your story, do your thing. But I would love for his music to kind of like shine a little bit more.
I need to share my world type of album.
Yeah,
Mm.
I need some brightness, need a little bit of color. It was a little gray, but it was good though because I get the story and he's kind of like broken down some of those stories to me, so it's like it connects and it makes sense.
So do
But
you
you
feel
know,
like his music is boring?
no, I wouldn't say boring,
Okay.
but for me, it's
So
like I can listen to it and you know appreciate it. But again, that's for me, not where I am in my life. So it's like I, you know, will listen out of support. But if it's just like I need something to listen to, I wouldn't be like, oh, let me go turn this on because that's not where I'm at.
okay, so you really wouldn't listen to his music as much as like that?
I wouldn't say no, not as much.
Okay. Do we ever get a scene in the future with you two talking about how you feel about his music? Because we got a scene with you guys in the kitchen, but that was because of some other stuff that we're probably gonna get into.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think we did. I feel like we talked about so much stuff. Um, I think we may have highlighted that we wanted to work together. But I don't think we had a breakdown of like his music. At least not me and him. No.
Okay. So one of the events that have happened was at Q's house, and you
Mhm.
guys were playing a game, and it led into a question that was being asked by Nova, which related to Althea.
Mhm.
And Nova basically had made a statement towards Althea that she didn't like, and it
Mhm.
turned into a verbal, almost physical altercation, a throwdown.
Yeah.
So, what was it like being in that situation, and who do you think was in the wrong in that?
Being in that situation was like it was crazy. Not even gonna hold you. It was crazy because to take you back, and then I'm gonna circle back to that. The comment was said. It was said from well, I won't say the comment was said. It was alluded to. There was some information that was shared, as stated in later episodes, but there was some information that was
Mm-hmm.
shared from Althea about her baby daddy and what he did. And Nova kind of took that and added a little sauce to it. And the
Mm-hmm.
way of which she threw it out there, I think it gagged everybody. It gagged me, even though I knew, but it was the delivery of it all and the build up of it all because from the little exchange at the island and then the other cards that were pulled and we were sitting on the couch and it's just like y'all slick going back and forth and then she just like drops this bomb and it's just like okay what the hell like what's actually happening here and I just part of me was like, okay, I know the party's about to be over, so I just want to go ahead and go because I don't know how this is about to go, and we in this man house. But also, like once things started getting rowdy, I just knew that not only was this already gonna go left conversation wise, I would have just hated for them to like get physical, and I think that would have made things way worse. So that's why you see me kind of like grabbing Althea, and I'm glad that you know they got Nova out and just put some space in between them because that really could have got bad. But I do think Nova was wrong for the way of which she did that. I do think it was distasteful. Um, I do have other thoughts. But I think the rest of the season has to play out because there's a comment that I made that a lot of people I think are confused by. And I said that there was no bully and there's no victim in the situation. But there's a lot of things that took place. There's a lot of discussions and a lot of words that have been exchanged. And I think essentially it kind of put them on an even playing field. But I won't ever go on record and not say that Nova didn't technically throw the rock first. So I mean, we have to point the finger at Nova being wrong. But I don't know. I guess it's just the type of person that I am. Like once the situation itself is kind of like dead and the day is over and we kind of move on, I kind of let shit go. Essentially, I might not fuck with you, but I'm letting it go. And I think it was just a constant back and forth exchanging of words and things being said, and it's just like, okay, y'all are like really, really building on this. So like now it's a thing. And that's why I made that comment. But I think later on down the line, y'all will see why I made that statement. And it'll kind of make sense. Especially when we get to the reunion, it can give more context.
Okay. So a lot of the viewers were jumping on Nova
Hmm.
and just, a lot of people went on TTB Live. They was dragging her to pits of hell and Satan's ass all throughout his balls and back. You
Oh yeah.
know, she went up there trying to defend herself. Some of the people was coming after y'all, saying that y'all don't hold her accountable and this and the third. And um on this in the scene, like, and I watch it from a viewer standpoint, I don't. We don't see. I mean, I don't see her getting held accountable for
Hmm.
up to a certain standard. But in the green screens, it just seems like everybody's just kind of like, yeah, she was wrong and woo, woo, woo. But it's just like, okay, well, why is nobody saying it to her face? So, do you guys feel like y'all held her accountable, and do you guys feel like the viewers are just overdoing their part when it comes to holding Nova accountable to a certain extent that they did?
I don't feel like the viewers are doing too much. Um, but obviously, it's a show, it's being edited. There has to be a storyline that kind of plays out, and you just have to like see where certain conversations lead. But I can say that what has happened is that she has definitely been held accountable. And I was hoping that they kind of showed that, but literally that night, after I kind of got Althea to calm down a little bit, and I think they took her in the bathroom to talk to her. I literally went outside with Kendall and Nova. I think there was a scene where you saw just those two out there. I either came out there right before or they started filming that part right after I left. But literally went out there and I was like, why the hell would you even say that? Like you was dead wrong for that. Like we definitely told her she was wrong.
So they
Um,
didn't catch it, or they just didn't
yeah,
put it in there.
yeah, I would say they didn't catch her, they didn't put it in. But and I hate to have to say this, but there are some conversations about that are coming up. So I do have to say, like, again, continue to like watch and see how the conversation unfolds because what I will say is it's far from over. Um, so it is something that hopefully we find some end and resolve to, but it ain't nowhere in sight as of now.
Okay, so Dominique had made a comment the last episode where he felt like no, no, not Nova. Althea basically to sum it all up, what the points he was making means that she doesn't really feel comfortable in this group, and that maybe this group isn't for her. And why are
Hmm.
you around? How do you feel about that? And what's your personal opinions on Althea being mixed in with this group, considering she is a cis woman?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little confused at first. Like that's part of the reason why, like I said, when she first kind of like popped up, like at my showcase, I was just like, who homegirl is this? Because I wasn't expecting for her to be there, let alone be a part of the group. So I think all of it was kind of a shock from what. not only the viewers are used to, but what we're used to as well. Because I mean, obviously we're on cast now, but prior to, we too were viewers and we had never seen that. So I think we all were kind of like gagged a little bit. Um, and I would say at least since the event at Q's house, it did seem like she was a little reserved when it came to us. After she had kind of started opening up to us, so it was like, okay, so like, what's going on? Like, are you truly comfortable with us or not? And then it just kind of raised a question, like even down to the email. I know she named me, she named a few people, but she also didn't name some people. But I would say at least for the ones who did come to her defense and were recognized in her email, if you have those people in your corner, I still feel like you being comfortable shouldn't be a question, you know, or you making just a general statement of, I don't feel safe in this group with, like, I guess your story, or not necessarily physically, but your story or any part of you when you had people who literally like went to back to like kind of console you. So I think that kind of raised a question, for some of us, and I would say for me too, regardless of the fact that I was mentioned in the email. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. But I do think we all kind of initially shared that until we got to know her, and kind of got used to her being around.
Okay. So would you consider Althea coming back as a returning cast member for next season?
No shade, I actually would. I actually would. I think Alfia has a lot to give, outside of like her personal stuff. And I'm so happy that she shows a little bit of both, but I want to see her in a space of like, I'm like truly in my winning season and I'm like going for it. Like I actually think her being around, I hate the circumstances, how but it did kind of generate a conversation that was needed.
Okay. So, switching gears,
Hmm.
you've been a bystander for a lot of bullshit that's been happening this season.
Yes, I
So,
have.
the next big thing that I want to get into, I'm going to try to breeze through this as fast because it's a lot.
Okay.
So, Carl gets added to the cast last minute.
Hmm.
He shows up to Dominique. Was it Dominique's wood party? It was
Yeah.
Dominique's wood party. And, you know, off the rip, from viewer standpoint, Ken is just not feeling Carl. I guess there was some things that happened off camera, according to what Carl has said on previous lives, to say his side of the story, that there was stuff said in group chats and stuff
Hmm.
towards him. Fast forward to your performance, which you did outstanding. And towards the end of that night, by the way, speaking of, before we get into that, how was that performance? How did you feel? Because you said you were nervous the first time. So coming back to perform the second time in that, how was that for you? Because you
I
did a
felt
great
like
job.
that was exciting. That was definitely a lot more exciting. I felt like I was more in my element. Like I said, I had all my things. I had my chairs, had my dancers, had my lights, my smoke effect.
Mm-hmm.
I had all the things that I usually have. And granted, he is a thorn in my side. Like Carl knows, like that's what I give on a Tuesday. Like that ain't even just like no special edition performance type thing. Like I would give that at your uncle's juke joint. Like that's just how I perform. So when I have anything less than that, I kind of feel out of my element. But that was probably one of my most exciting performances thus far, I would say honestly, in my career. But it was great to like have everybody there to see me perform, because a lot of them had not seen me perform before. At least not to like that kind of performance. So it was actually very exciting. I enjoyed that a lot.
Okay. So after that performance, the group gets together
Hmm.
and Ken and Carl see each other and they have an interaction. Carl says hoes don't invite hoes to birthday parties, and him and Ken will have a back and forth. And then Tramel gets involved, and then Ken and Tramel have a back and forth to the
Hmm.
point where it almost got physical. And Carl and Ken have this face off. Carl's very upset. Ken's
Mm-hmm.
trying to prove his point. You being a bystander, do you feel disrespected that that happened after your performance, or no? How do you feel about that? Because the group made it feel like, oh, well, you should have never brought that up. That was the wrong time. This is about Sammie and Carl. Like, well, listen, Sammie already performed, and I know Sammie personally, and we're outside, and the show was over. So how do you feel
Yeah.
about that first?
It
Honestly.
now I ain't gonna lie. I could have. Like, I've said this before. I ain't no soft ass bitch. So like show was over. Would I have liked to sit in my glory a little bit longer? Absolutely. Like I would have liked to sit in that. You did so well. All the things. Get all my flowers. So I mean, people don't get that often. So I definitely would have liked to sit in that for a few more minutes before they came with the riffraff.
Okay. So how do I say this? Do you feel like so you don't feel like do you feel like that was necessary compared to what happened with Nova and Alfie? Because it's like, okay, it
Absolutely
goes
not.
back to like, okay, it's still a show and we gotta talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary. I think it's very like it's not even high school. It's actually quite like elementary, like to be arguing about being invited to a birthday dinner or a birthday party, and it's like this is just me because like given how I would handle it, this is why how I'm giving this synopsis. If I didn't care about not being invited somewhere, I'm not bringing it up or talking about it. So the fact that it keeps getting brought up, I would say you care a little bit. Matter of fact, I know you care because there was conversations that happened off camera.
They said it a
And
lot.
huh?
It's been said a lot that this whole thing started because of conversations off camera. And
Yeah,
Carl
it's
said it's
it's
not because of the
conversations
birthday,
off
man, it's because of
camera,
something else.
yes, but yeah, that just goes to show we need to have cameras on us at all times because the shit don't stop. But yeah, there was something that was said to me actually directly off camera, after the dinner that same exact night actually. So I'm like, y'all can't say y'all don't care. So
So who do you feel like was in the wrong? Was it Ken or Carl? Or Shamel? Since he got grouped into it.
let's see. I don't honestly. So to your point earlier, this is quite different from like the Nova and Althea thing. I don't feel like it's a right or wrong. I just feel like either like somebody need to be real about their emotions, just say like what it is, or they need to let it go because it's not even an argument worth having at our big old age. So that's really how I feel. I don't really feel like it's a right or wrong. I
Okay.
just feel like it's stupid.
Okay. So the lemon squeeze
Hmm.
happens and you guys sit down, you guys get your grievances solved. So you don't really have a problem with nobody again. You're just a bystander, you're kind of like middleman.
Hmm.
So Althea gets her thing out with Nova. King tries to get his thing out with Carl and Tramel. And then, Q and Dominique had this little like weird banter that came out of
Hmm.
nowhere. And how do you feel about all of that, just sitting there being in the middle of that? Like, what's your take on all of that happening?
It was just chaotic, and I'm really big on like my perception now, and I would say to a certain extent, like if you walk in like in your true self, I really don't care what people think of me. But when it comes to like how I act in public, I'm very big on like let's act like we got some cool and decorum. And like just all the yelling was starting to become a little too much because like we're in this nice establishment and y'all are like carrying on in here. So for me, it was a lot, and I think we thought that, or whoever set that up thought that because it was in a nice establishment, everybody was gonna kind of like keep they cool, and that's just not how it worked out. But I think the group as a whole, they kind of lack the ability to like sit and listen to people. Like nobody's trying to hear
Mm,
nobody out for real. Everybody is like listening to respond because they want to have like that one up. And then in certain situations, I feel like people are just like very sensitive, and it's like it's really not that deep. But yeah, the group needs some healing, child.
mm. So, Ken and Tramel, I'm still confused on how that happened. But you and Tremel have a conversation. And he's telling you about Ken and how he feels about him, and
Mhm.
the weird shit that be happening. So like, you know, how did you feel about like being in the middle when it comes to Ken and Tremel, and Tremel explaining to you like how he feels about Ken, who was obviously your friend,
Maybe not
even
my
though you're
battle.
neutral, even though you're neutral both parties.
Look, my biggest thing is not my battle, not my fight. Now I get it because I was again. I hate that so much stuff happened off camera, but I was there for like this. I was there for a lot of stuff. I don't know why people choose to cut up around me, but yeah, I was there for a particular situation that took place that led up to that, and I think that is part of my point where it's like people listen to respond and don't actually listen and try to like understand like the other person's point of view. I think that will really dead this entire situation for real if people would do that. But him coming to me and expressing himself in the way that he did, I can say I respect because he didn't go below the belt in a way of which it will put me in a weird situation with Ken. So I definitely respect him for kind of keeping that like line clear, but also still feeling safe as my friend to come to me and be like, "Hey, I have this issue with this person, and this is how I feel about it," and just feeling like he's safe to share that information with me because I don't run and tell nothing to nobody else. So that was something he shared with me. Ken has done the same. That's at the end of the day, that's between y'all two. Now I be trying to like play the middleman and get them to talk and figure shit out, but when they get to doing all that yelling, I be over it.
Okay, so this is what everybody wants to know because
Mm,
some of you will skip over this. I don't. Um, this whole thing about like the group, some of the group feels like Carl and Tremel are the aggressors and they jump in people's faces even when we haven't seen them jump in people's faces.
mm,
We've seen a lot of other cast members, everybody come out their body from
mm,
Althea all the way down to Tremel. So they kind of feel like it gives like they don't really want Carl around because they may see him as too ghetto and this and the third, and they try to link Tramel to it, but then it's like the viewers like, okay, well y'all linking on, but it's like y'all are the elites because that's what Nova says. So how do you feel about people linking y'all as the elites and that y'all be in this like mean girl group according to the viewers, but yet y'all link Tramel and Carl as like one, but like how do you feel about that?
So I'm gonna speak to Colin Tramiel first. That's like a double-edged sword. They're like truly best friends in real life, and it is very rare. And this again is outside of film. It's very rare that I see one and don't see the other. That's how we are used to seeing them. It's not that they don't, and they are two completely separate people, live two different lives. That obviously we know, but typically when we see one, we see the other. So naturally, we kind of like lump them together because again, when just like with the wig party, we were around Tramel before without him, but literally since then, when Tramel is around, Carl ain't too far behind him, and vice versa. So typically, yes, we would link Carl and Tramel together. Carl is very different. He is very Vanjie. He is different than a lot, if not most of us that are on cast. So yeah, there is a bit of a clashing that happens because it doesn't seem like he can take like the classy route ever. It's just like I got to get my shit off every time. I'm gonna be loud about it. I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna do what I got to do to get my point across. Which again, back to my point, people just they do things for like almost like a reaction instead of like actually trying to find a resolve. So like that's just my take on that. But as far as like people grouping the quote unquote elites together, by the way, hated that name. Never was agreed upon thing. I didn't even know that was said until she said that in her confessional. But yeah, when it comes to the other side, that again, perception, I think that we were all at that time genuinely trying to like build a bond and like grow as like potential friends, if not, like business partners. Because Ken, he has his businesses. Most of us are artists, so we're trying to find ways to like collab and like do things. So all of that just happened naturally. But with what Tramel and Carl kind of had going on, it wasn't meshing with everybody. Honestly, I think like me and Noel were the most neutral out of everybody. But but yeah, it just wasn't meshing up. So I mean, I don't think it was just like a we're gonna be this and we're gonna put y'all over there. It wasn't working. I think it was cool before Carl came along, but I mean, it wasn't initially to be, or it wasn't intention to be the elites and everybody else.
Okay, because a lot of people, most of the cast members feel like Carl gets out of body, but it's like we got Nova who plays this. I don't mean to call her this, but like this bitch character,
Hmm.
and says slit shit out her mouth, and we see Althea jumping on her body. Like this episode we about to see, we seen her jumping on her body, getting very aggressive with Nova multiple times. We've seen King get very aggressive and jump out of his body, like
Hmm.
towards Tremel. So a lot of people are like, well, how y'all gonna pick and choose? Like how y'all gonna single him out, but then everybody else is acting gangsta over here too. So what's the difference when Carl does it, but then when everybody else jumps out of their body, like how Q did with Dominique, that's another
Hmm.
thing. And nobody's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They're
what
not
do you
giving
think
the
about
same
that?
energy. Like
Correct.
I would say, like with the lemon squeeze, everybody was kind of like definitely was giving out of body because I'm like, are y'all like not remembering that we're in public? Like y'all doing a whole lot. Um, for me, it's just like time and place. Like when we was in the alley, granted, yes, I would have liked like to have my shine a little bit longer. I wasn't mad at that particular like area and place of which Carl came in was like, hey, let's get to the shit and let's talk about it. Like that's fine. I think it's more so like time and place, and I think that was the reason why. Not to speak for him, but I think that's the reason why Ken didn't want to invite them to his party. Outside of the fact that he doesn't feel like he knows them for real, because again, we all were trying to like build a genuine friendship. So like we were inviting each other out to each other's things and like trying to hang out, kind of get to know each other on and off camera. So that made him comfortable enough to invite us. Like if I didn't, like I said, if I didn't get an invite, I wouldn't care. Like that's your birthday party. You be around whoever you want to be around. But I think because Carl is so unpredictable, that would make anybody like think twice before they invite him anywhere.
Hmm. So what's the difference when it comes to everybody else?
Because they have like I would say I think about like scenarios. So honestly, I would say even with both Ken and Q and well yeah, Ken and Q, if you think about the wig party, granted, Ken is at home. He could have got out of body if he wanted to, but he didn't.
Hmm.
It's just like time and place and like respect for other people. Like he knew that that was Dominique's day, that was his birthday party. I'm not gonna give you too much right now, but I also am gonna let you know. Same for Q. Like, granted, we all had questions. I did too, because that was when I was supposed to quote unquote check him. Which we did have a conversation as soon as he walked in. Like, if
Keep
you go
talking.
back
I
and
can
watch
hear
that episode, the subtitles, you can see where, like, when he walked in, I was like, I know you fucking lying. And then he walks up to me to give me a
you.
hug. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but I literally was like, "Don't hug me," because like, where you been? Like, it was given. Like, I was gonna address it. I was gonna ask the questions that the people want to know, and hell, I wanted to know because really, if I'm asking this, it's for me. I don't care about everybody else. But like, I had the conversation with him, and he said we'll talk about it later. And again, with respects to my friend Neat, this is his party. I'm not gonna give you too much right now because this moment ain't really even about you. So I think for most people, they understand the time and place. Um, I mean, I wish that Nova and Althea both would have respected Q's house more. Um, but we were like in a house. We were in the intimate space. If that was like outside, Now, granted, there's a right and wrong in this situation. I do want to say that, but like if we were like outside somewhere public and they acted like that, they would be just as wrong and look at sideways, just like we look at Carl. Carl just is like that all the time. It don't matter where he at. That's why I think people single Carl out.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, that's
basically,
me.
I get what you're saying, and I kind of had a feeling. So basically, it's like they know a time and a place, and they know how to shut it off. But
Correct.
Carl's just like, I don't give a fuck.
And don't.
Excuse my language. Okay,
And don't.
okay,
It's gonna be him and his 40 and whatever he got to say.
okay, okay. So I can tell that the lemon squeeze was just a dinner from hell, and it was the Last Supper,
Pretty
and
much.
nobody got to eat.
Nope, sure did. And that pizza went to waste.
Mm. How did you feel about Q and Dominique and their little banter? Like, did that surprise you, or
It did at first. I mean, I get it, but I was just like, where the hell is this coming from? Like, just trying to like figure out how to move forward as a group because we got to be around each other. So it's like we just trying to kind of like put everything on the table, but essentially, like one of my friends said, we put everything on the table, but left it a mess. Like shit was just everywhere. Ain't nobody clean up nothing aside from Noel and Tramel. They're the only two who kind of made amends, but that was like light compared to everything else. So it
Mhm.
was just like, okay, it's on the table. We know who don't like who, but now what? So
Mm.
it almost was pointless to Q's point of like we not like we doing all of this stuff, the reality TV thing, and you know, like let's be real about it. But I also get the point and why we were there. It just didn't go as planned. So that's pretty much it.
Mm-mm. Okay, so we're gonna jump right back into Sammy's life. So you're married.
Yep, close,
I
little
ain't
close
forget about
enough.
that. Close enough. How long you guys been together?
So
I
we
know you
have
said it on
been
the show, but for anybody that
yeah,
doesn't know.
we've been together for 15 years. Well,
Mm.
almost 15 years, going on 15 years.
And may I ask how old are you?
How old do I look?
30?
Older.
Above a 33?
Yeah.
You look like you're 29.
Yeah, no, I'm 34.
Oh, okay. Mhm. So you guys been together since you were 21, 20.
Yeah. Around that. Yeah, around that time.
You said you met him when you was 19, correct?
Yeah, met him when I was 19. I was a
Right.
freshman in college at FAMU, and yeah, that's where we met. So yeah, we
Okay.
at a party, exchanged words with a mutual friend, and they made that connection. And literally since then, it's been us tied at each other's hip for the most part.
What's it like being a hubby in a married life?
Um, it feels good. It is never ending work, but it feels good because I think, at least speaking for us, it's almost like being with your best friend for real. Like I think that's why we have worked for so long. Like it seems crazy, especially for like two guys. Like it's unheard of in our community for people to be together that long. But like we genuinely have like a friendship, like to the point where it's like literally when we call each other, sometimes it'd be like, "Hey, girl," like we like talk shit to each other all the time. That's like our love language. Like we just try to make our relationship fun, but it is work because it's not always fun. So like when we do go through those rough patches and those downsides, like we give each other the grace and the space to like grow as individuals. And then once we like come out on the other side of that, like we just try to build each other back up, and then essentially we end up stronger for each other because like we both are going through things individually, but we just try to like help each other through that.
So I guess this means we're not gonna give a call to Iyanla.
I mean, that don't mean that we ain't gonna have no sit down. We still might need to have a sit down
I mean, she
about
on
some
the.
things because
I mean,
we haven't officially tied the knot yet. So we still got to go
oh,
through
okay.
we still got to go through couples counseling and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe we can get that. So that way you can get like the ins and outs of a relationship that has like withstanded so many years, and just the things that we have like gone through.
Okay. I mean, well, you got her on the cast. All you do is give her a call. She's right there in the poster.
Look, true.
You don't get the joke, don't you?
Wait, you say Ayanna?
Yeah, I said Atiana, and she's sitting right there. You can actually see her face next to Nova.
Who is?
And if you watch my story, wait, we don't follow you on Instagram, but if you watch my story, watch my review video that I just uploaded, you will understand what I'm talking about. I
Oh
think
my
you should go
god.
see
Okay,
it.
I'm screaming. Okay,
I love Neek. That Neek is one of my good friends, so I'm just trying to
yeah,
make her laugh. You know,
that's my brother.
yeah. So I have no more questions for you. We've reached the end of this journey, but we do have a little game, a little Spitfire.
Uh oh. Okay.
So I'm gonna name something. I want you to go which one is the best. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Chasing Atlanta or Chasing LA?
Chasing Atlanta.
Chasing LA or G Status ATL? Well, it's only one city.
Yeah, I would still probably watch Chasing LA though.
Okay. So Baddies or Chasing Atlanta?
No shade. I don't. I hate baddies. I really hate baddies. Like I love Bad Girls Club, but baddies is too much for me. They do too much. So I would definitely watch Chasing Atlanta over baddies.
Sure, if it wasn't for Chasing, I would be done with TV. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm telling you, baddies is just they. The whole episode is fighting. I can't.
Okay, so let's do cast members. Nicole Ray or Andre?
Hmm. Good question. Nicole Ray is such a sweetheart, though. She has a special place in my heart, so I have to say her.
Yeah, she is, but she has her shady moments, but that's Nicole. We just
She
gotta know how to give it
does,
to
but
her.
I love her.
Yeah, she's doing her thing on tour and doing
Hmm.
hairstyles. Like, she's doing her damn thing.
Sure is. I love
Um,
that.
Kendall or King Payne?
Kendall.
Okay. Um, Reese G or Oliver Twix?
Ollie is my hands down. That's my bitch. I love Oliver.
Okay.
So I'm
So
rocking with him every
Oliver,
time.
so Oliver or Kendall?
No shade. I knew Oliver first. That's like that is my baby. Like Oliver, me and Oliver have had many heart to heart moments, and he has helped me through some stuff. So I have to give it to Oliver. I do. Love Ken though, but gotta give it to Oliver.
Sky Valentine or Dominique?
Dominique.
December or Nova?
At this current moment, December.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sir Akeem or Trey Howard?
Trey.
Okay. YB Speaks or TTB?
Ooh, that's a good one. They both messy. Um, damn, that is a good one. I don't know. That's a good one because both of them messy. Both of them make me laugh. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I gotta go with TTB.
Okay, I can't throw myself in there because you don't watch me. So, um, mm, Althea or Jayla from Chasing LA?
Mm, I feel.
Okay. Hmm. Reese G or Enderio?
I got to go with the boss man.
You try to keep your job.
Boss man CEO.
Okay. Who else can go up against Enderio? It's not a lot of producers. That's the sad part.
I know.
Okay. I'm gonna do a couple more. It's so many of them. Do you watch Gemini films? Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar, but I don't really watch.
Okay, so I'm gonna say Devon or O'Neill Blue.
Devon.
Okay, Megan Thee Stallion or Little Kim.
Oh, damn. You can't put the old school and new school against each other. Honestly, I think I would say Lil Kim. I feel more out of the two. I feel like I'm gonna look at old school Lil Kim down.
Okay, Carl or Jay Chwan.
Not Carl. I don't care who you put up against Carl. Not Carl.
Um, Last one is gonna be Beyonce or Rihanna, and choose
Beyonce.
wisely. Okay, you choose wisely.
Yes, Beyonce for sure. Like for obvious reasons, but she has more of a performance style that I like. I love Rihanna's edge, but if I had to embody either or, I'm going for Beyonce.
Okay. Well, that's it. We reached the end of this.
Oh, I survived. Okay, it didn't get too messy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. I'm not. Listen, I'm not saving none of y'all. But I'm not. I'm not the type to sit here and purposely just throw some stuff out there to like end up on blogs and shit. Because that's not what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mostly ask questions that revolve to what you got going on, and I don't
Hmm.
sit here and ask you about somebody else's business unless you were there, and it has to be significant. Which is why I asked you all
Gotcha.
the questions because you were a bystander to the importance of the situation. So
Like you
yeah,
said, bystander to the bullshit.
yeah, we keep it fair over here, very fair. We don't sugarcoat stuff, but we keep it very fair. So
Period.
I think my last question is, how did you think that this interview did? How do you think I did?
I think you did good. You actually asked good questions, well balanced questions about me, about the show. Um, you actually asked questions for like good insight, like not just to, like you said, not to try to like get any mess started, but it's like you already had like your thoughts, but you asked for clarity. So I think you did
Hmm.
great. It was a fun interview.
Okay, great. Now, is this your first interview from being off the show, or
I've jumped on a couple lives. I did an interview with Key and Carrie
all them niggas?
a couple weeks ago. So I think this is my second one. Like
I
my
haven't
second
spoken to them
actual
in
interview.
years. Oh, damn. Okay, shit. I haven't spoken to King Carey in years, but
Yeah.
we
But
fuck with
y'all
them
did
too.
great. I would say between yeah, both of y'all did great. And I won't say I didn't say I never watched your videos. I did watch I think the first two episodes I did.
How was it?
It was good. I
Well,
like
I
it. I like
mean,
the way that you. I like so. There's like a There's like a bucket for reviewers. Like you have the ones who actually like review the show, have their questions, and they like review based off of what they see on the show, their questions and their thoughts. But it's like it stays there, and it's like not like too messy, but it's like, you gonna say how you feel, but it ain't just like, oh, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just start saying stuff and like create a narrative that probably ain't there. Whereas like other people, they reviewing the person more than the show. And it's just like because you don't like this
I know
person.
some people you talking about.
Yeah, because you don't like this person, you like dragging everything, and it's just like, okay, like, are we watching the same thing? Because what you saying is completely different from everybody else, just because you don't like said person.
Listen,
So
I've been going to bat for some cast members on lives, and I really shouldn't have been. But I'm like, I'm tired of this. Like, girl, let's because even when I'm not gonna go there because that's a conversation for me and him. But I've liked everybody, including the people that they feel like I've dragged. Because I even say, I'm like, you know what? I don't know some of these people. Some of them I do know personally, but even the people I do know personally on the cast, which I said it in the videos, I'm still holding them accountable. I don't hold them accountable, and I don't feel like as a reviewer, I'm not the type to sit here and be like, oh, Carl raggedy ass, or like Kendall's raggedy braids and his edge up line, like some of them other people do on their stuff, and then when they jump on a live and curse them out, then it'd be a problem. I'm like, well, here, y'all got the right. Let me tell you something. Even when I do my TikTok reviews on Now This TV, because I got a platform over there, those videos go viral. That's why I don't say shit over here. I try to keep y'all separate from that because y'all are a different entity. Even the cast members out in drag, they follow me, support me because they're like, you are so unbiased, but I try to be respectful because I'm like, first, that's not how I would want to be talked to, and two, why would I sit here and throw daggers at y'all? And the funny thing is that I'm one of those reviewers, not saying to the others, but I'm actually pull up in y'all city, and I've ran into a lot of people, and it's been no problems. Even people that had problems with me in the past that saw me, sat in my face, and didn't do nothing, and then waited to get on live to start saying how they really feel. Nobody has a problem with me. So it's like, but you know what? I'm also not the type to just sit there and go, oh, well, I can say whatever I want to say and y'all can't. Right. And I'm also that type where if the cast members got to get together and get in your ass verbally or physically, then do it. Because it's, it's still a job on both ends. But, people do their reviews. I do my reviews, but I choose to be completely different. Because it's just a show. And, some people... Like, everybody says Nova's not really like that. And woo, I'm like, but on TV, she gives a bitch. But I'm just like, no, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's still wrong, but I'm not going to keep going up on live saying it over and over and over and over. And we got other cast members, even in the videos. I try to get to the point. I even highlight some of your stuff. I'll sit there and watch your whole thing just to balance it out so it doesn't look like if I was coming from a negative place and dragging, at least there's that balance. Because who wants to just sit here and just talk about mess all damn day?
Exactly.
Like, I asked questions about Sammie. Then I got in the chase and went right back to Sammie. Not just, all the drama and then thank you. No.
Right. See, that's why you in the first bucket. You in the good bucket.
And nobody sees it. I don't get my flowers sometimes, but it's all right though. Because the people that should see it.
Look, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing just fine.
Thank you. But yeah, this has been so great. You was the first one I said I gotta get Sammie up here before I go dive deeper. Because this is a breather. I definitely enjoy your music.
Thank you.
I definitely could see us on a song together, or at least help him with writing, because sometimes I can need help with writing. But yeah, I definitely will follow you and keep supporting you. And thank you so much for this interview.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out. Thanks for wanting me to come on. And yes, we will definitely chat. I am so open to collaborating. So see what kind of heat we can cook up.
All right, now I gotta go get Q.
So where you gonna go?
Huh? I said I gotta go get Q. I have to get Q, and he's next in line.
Oh, okay. Period.
And then I'll feel.
Oh, you getting everybody?
Yup. Carl's probably gonna be the last one, maybe.
That part. Okay. Well, talk to you later.
Thank you so much, Sammie.
All right, no problem.